Donna was going to tell you a little bit about the website I've been kind of alluding to a little bit, where you're going to have access to lots of different information if you choose to use it. And I think it's important. I know I mentioned it once yesterday, but just a reminder that everything that you take away today and from yesterday, any copies of manuals or forms or anything, the assessment tools, anything that you get while you're here, you're not required to use them. I don't think we're taping, actually, we didn't start anyway. But you're not required to use them. They're there as a resource for you and as a guide. So I hope that nobody went home and looked at their stuff last night or went to their hotel room after going shopping at Lakeshore. And did anybody get anything good at Lakeshore, by the way? Yeah, okay. So, but anyway, I hope that you didn't look at this stuff and go, oh my gosh, because it can be very overwhelming. And we have more for you. But it's there as a guide and a resource. If you flip through it this summer and you see some things that you really want to use, do it, but don't let it stress you because it's a lot of information. So,
and that's continuing on for the balance of the year. Like we mentioned yesterday, we will continue to have these PD opportunities, and it's an opportunity for you to bring in some items and such of what you have done that you know worked well, and you can share it. So that's what teaching is all about, is borrowing from someone else and not reinventing. Because some of us have been in education for multiple years, and you've been through, yeah, I've tried that, it doesn't work, I'm not trying it again. There's others that are new coming in, and they're like, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't even know where to begin. So it's just one big happy family that we borrow things and share things back and forth, and I'll appreciate it. So again, as Tamara said, these are just examples or samples so that if you have things that you've been using forever and you find even bits and pieces in any of the things we're going to provide for you that you want to borrow and use, absolutely, that's what we want you to be able to do. So what we have is a curriculum website for the Catholic Schools Office. And so we will be putting in preschool curriculum, and you'll be able to get access from your principals to this curriculum. So everything that Tamara has shared with you, everything that we're going to be handing out to you today will be on that site. Some of the things that I have not handed out and included in the packet is a lot of other things such as sample daily schedules, sample registration forms, sample letters to parents, information in regards to handbooks, parent handbook, teacher handbooks. We also have information in regards to extended care. You know, some of you offer a half-day preschool. I highly recommend that you say it is a full-day preschool and that you have extended care scheduling within it, such as an opportunity so that, I don't want to say this really loud, if you do what you call a full-day preschool and adjust and have academic aspect in the morning and then more socialization and play in the afternoon, then you're not obligated to go under licensing of DHHS. Those of you that have been in with DHHS, you know the paperwork and all the struggles that you go through in that part of it. And as long as your day consists of educational aspect, you don't have to jump through a lot of loopholes. That's if you are working with 3, 4s, and 5s. If you drop and go into 2-year-olds or lower, then you are obligated to go through DHHS on what they consider to be the daycare. So what we call daycare is up to 3-year-olds. And then we like to say preschool for 3-year-olds, pre-kindergarten for 4 and 5 years olds. And some of you probably may have what we call transitional kindergarten, which is those 4 or 5-year-olds that aren't ready to step into a kindergarten setting academically. They're still not ready. So those are kind of the titles that we give. And we also have what we call extended care, which is before service hours, before your school day starts. Extended care is also after school hours as well. So we have samples of all of our extended care opportunities, letters, registrations, parent commitment forms. So there's a lot more that we're going to be able to give you. We won't give it to you in hard copy because when I was printing these out yesterday and was taking it times 40, I felt like I was going to kill another tree and I couldn't do it. Because you will get everything electronically. And again, look at it, tweak it so that we put it in an editable version. So you can take it, tweak it as you want to use it, or just take a few ideas and samples off of some of the information, and you don't have to print it either. So my goal in life is to be paperless, paper-free, so that we're not killing all of our trees. So
one piece on the extended care part, I think that's important to know too, though, is if you, let's say you call it an all-day preschool, you're only gonna be able to call it that until school's out, basically, through the school. So at that point, if you have extended care, we sort of switched the name to ours. You'll see it sometimes we're in daycare, because that's what we were until this year. But we started calling it preschool extended care, because it got confused with our K through 8 extended care, and parents started getting confused on paperwork and stuff. But the piece that's important to know is if those children are still going to be able to go to an extended care program after school, if the school's program is only K through 8, they will have to jump through some hoops with the Department of Health and Human Services in order to get it changed for preschool age to be added in through the 8th grade. That changes the program too. There are more hoops to jump through when you're preschool through 8 rather than just K-8. So just be aware that the Department of Health and Human Services is still going to have to be involved if it's after school time. And there's still going to be some hoops, but not as many. So.
And as I was sharing with you yesterday, Patrick Slaughter, our superintendent of schools, ultimate goal is to have all of our schools have preschools. So some of schools that currently do not have the preschool setting offering, or they have it at a different site, different location, we're in the process of that transition as well. So our goal is to have preschool through 12th grade, actually, 8th grade as well. So if you have any questions, let us know, but we will be getting this link out to your administrators so that they can share the link with you so that you can go onto our curriculum site and be able to pull up all preschool, pre-kindergarten curriculum. Okay.
Before Donna leaves, I also want to say real quick, because are you coming back today? Or?
I'm hoping to.
Okay, well, just in case. So I think that everybody needs to know this. You've seen Donna kind of have to fly in and out here a little bit, but she remains very calm while she's doing it. But she has a trillion other seminars and things going on, like every day. So it's not just us. And Donna came to me to do this seminar, and I kind of went, no, and she said, but there's a need. There's a need for this because there are schools who are opening programs, there are teachers who need help, who just want new ideas, whatever it is, there's a need. And I was really nervous about it, and I wanted to tell her no. But Donna comes in and she has an idea. Donna is definitely an ideas woman, and she is a person who finds solutions this quick. Like I was telling you guys yesterday with the letters and the popsicle sticks, right, for that activity. And I always said, I really want to do this. I'll pay for it if I have to, but I really want to do this. And then, well, there's cost involved. And immediately Donna went to, well, we could do this, and of course I said, but they have to be sparkly. But my point is, no matter what, if there is any kind of a difficulty, she's very quick to come up with solutions, and she's an advocate for all of you guys. Just the fact that she is able to pull these things together for all these different grade levels, because she knows there's a need and she wants to make sure that everybody has what they need. So I just thought, I don't think Donna gets thanked enough, so everybody say Donna, thank you.
But we do want to hear from you. So if there's something we can provide, and when I came into this position 11 months ago, there didn't seem to be anything helping the preschools out at all. And I had just left St. Michael's in South Sioux City and created an early childhood education center, which these two individuals over here are now working with. So I know there was a lot that needed to be done and a lot that I didn't know, and I learned along the way, and I thought if I could share it, again, that's what it's all about. Share what experiences we went through. And we have a wonderful individual here too. Growing a program from very small, less than 20, up to 80 plus is amazing. So we've now made her director for our consortium school. So she's now over 5 different preschool buildings, so which is a great resource. So utilize Tamara's brain and her staff and everything she's been through. Anything we can do, let us know. Just we can't change what we don't know. And you're in it every day, so please share with us. So have a great day, and I do want to get back, but I do have 2 other trainings going on too. So. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
The other piece to that too, just so everybody knows, with our preschool program, yesterday, I thought I heard my cell phone buzz when I was kind of panicking, first day seminar type of thing, right? And I thought I heard my phone buzz. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, it's Annie. Okay.
I was here.
No.
Oh.
So, and it was when I was at home still, and I thought, oh gosh, Annie's calling me and she's telling me that she's sick or she's, whatever. And I thought, oh, well, there goes everything. And so my point of that, I didn't tell you that, but my point is, I'm just like a very small cog in the wheel? Is that the expression? I'm terrible at that. But I honestly, and I'm not just saying it to whatever, our program has grown the way it has because of, like I said yesterday, those relationships that we have with our staff. Our staff, we're very different from each other. We're all really different. You could probably tell that yesterday. And we all have something that we bring to the table. And we work together very cohesively. And so it is not me bringing, a program from here to here all these years. Our staff has been pretty much the same staff unless we grew and had to add more people. And so it's about the staff. So when you go back to your program, try to build those relationships with your staff because that's what makes your program grow. So, okay, that being said, I decided last night when I was chewing on, yesterday, thinking it through and working it, there's so many things that I want to tell you guys and there's not enough time. And so I'm sorry that things got crazy and furious and fast yesterday. It'll happen again today, I guarantee it. We're already behind anyway, but again, things happen the way they're supposed to. So if you need to stop me at any point for anything, if you have questions, or if you realize last night she never even talked about this and that's something I really wanted to know, please let me know. Okay, just stop me. Anybody have anything right now before we get started? No? Okay. All right. So I forgot to tell you yesterday that in the hallway right down here, there's like some chairs and a couple other odds and ends, like a helmet, I don't know, from a school that went out of business. We purchased their stuff and there was a few things just left. So I don't know if anybody will want it or not, but if you see something that you want, go ahead and take it with you when you leave today for your program. So yes.
I have a question. How often do you guys communicate with parents? You said emails, home, weekly, and who does that? Is it each individual teacher or is it the whole program?
Yeah, I wish that we communicated more often that way. That's something that I would like to work on. We probably could be better. We try to, when they come in the door, always greet them and talk to them face to face. Sometimes it's not them that drops off and we don't get to build that relationship. And we may not see them until parent-teacher conferences. So if you wanted to do something like that, it would be great. But what we do is we send home a monthly newsletter. And it just kind of communicates what's happening in the school and things that they should be marking down, and keeping track of. So we communicate that way with them, and there's a calendar on the month for the month as well on the back of the newsletter. So that's one of the ways that we communicate. But honestly, and like putting pictures in the hall so that they can see what's happening in the classroom. Sending Mrs. Lilly, you sent home notes with the kids. I remember you had a stack and you're waiting for that one kid that you really wanted to send a good home note.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I keep a stack of like cute little die cut, depending upon the seasons, on my desk. And whenever you see them, just be kind was a nice friend. I just wrote it on a die cut and I just stuck it in their folder. Because sometimes their parents just need that little receipt, that little something to put on the fridge that, was helpful, was a good friend, was a good listener.
Right.
Had a fantastic day, especially if it's somebody that doesn't have good days all the time. And with the 3-year-old program, we only see them 2 days a week. So, they only come to school 8 times tops that month. So, our communication isn't great because, and like you said, if grandma comes,
Yeah.
sometimes the only time we see the parent is that conference and then at the end of the year. So like making the deposits, it's just like
Yes.
a little coin in the bank. Just put
Right.
that little note in the folder.
Right.
And it just the littlest thing as a parent, if you would have got that, you would have been like,
Yeah.
and then it starts conversations too. And then they can ask, what did you do? And then,
You're right.
Yeah.
Parents don't look at stuff that we But, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, especially
Some of them
the
don't.
crap
Some
you
of them are
spent
very
all weekend
meticulous.
cutting out. And you thought it was so great. You opened the folder, it's still there.
Yes.
Seriously?
Some of them don't. And that's when I send him a reminder with the newsletter. When I see that's becoming a problem, it's like the first few weeks it might be really good. And then when I see it's becoming a problem, then I'll put a little note that says, reminder, this is the way we communicate with you. Please make sure you're checking your folders just on the newsletter because it's kind of, and we might even sometimes get the child in for help as an advocate and say, hey, mommy didn't see that note. Will you make sure mommy gets this? Make sure mommy checks your folder. Make sure daddy sees your folder. And it's amazing. Some because it doesn't work with, but some of them, it really does. And you just say it nicely.
Or if you bring an empty folder, you get a sticker. If you emptied your folder at home, you get to pick out a sticker. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just want that sticker. Yeah, so they'll go home and take it out. Yeah, but at least it went home.
All right. But you're right though. Communicate as much as possible. Those people who come to drop off, please greet them in the morning. Try to, no matter what, at least make eye contact and smile and wave at them if someone else is talking to you at the time. That's a good way. If you don't have someone that you're getting to see, maybe pay attention to who you're not getting to see and greet in the mornings, or you're not getting to say goodbye to in the afternoon, and just send notes home with that kid every now and again. Slip it in there when nobody's looking, just so that you're still getting to connect with that parent. But otherwise, the monthly newsletter, is good. On that note, though, if you have a problem and there's a behavior and you have to talk to a parent, I used to send home a typewritten note where I circled, because I was busy, just a thing saying, such and such hit or scratched, or and I circled the item, and it was this long letter about what we do. Yeah. Now, I don't, and then I went to kind of more of a little personal note, which was very time consuming. But now I try to always either talk to the person face to face, always. If I cannot, I will call them. And I don't care if I call them at work. It's unfortunate, but sometimes we have to. But that conversation, so they can hear your tone of voice, so they know that you're not angry with their child and that you're not blaming them. They can hear the tone. That's a really good thing too, because even if you're having to give them bad news, they know that you're doing it in a caring way. You send an email, you send a note home, unfortunately it can be read all different ways. So as far as communication goes, that's a biggie too that comes to mind for me. So yeah.
What about doing home visits?
What's that?
What about doing home visits? Are we allowed to do that or not?
Home visits? Ooh. Well,
I've heard of it before. It's nothing.
the public
we've never-
schools do that. They'll come out before school starts and they will come and visit you, and they'll have their assistant work with the kid with some toys while they do like registration paperwork and stuff for you to make sure you get it all. I have seen that. We've never done that. I don't know if there are any rules against it though. I would talk to your administrator, make sure that your principal is okay with it before you do it. If your principal is okay with it, then it should be fine. If they're not sure if it's okay, they will find out. So that's a good question. I do not have the answer to that one, unfortunately, but I can send you down the right path.
We have a sneak a peek night before school
Yes.
starts.
Yeah.
And we schedule it for certain times for each class. And it's just say it's the Mrs. Howard's morning class, and it's from 9 to 10 on the Saturday morning. And it's just the kids and their parents come, they can drop off their school supplies. And then the parents can kind of feel each other out, and the kids kind of get to meet each other. And then they also get to kind of see us. And we do that the Saturday before school starts. So that way we're still kind of fresh in their brains. So that's, instead of that, I think that's kind of close. That's
Yeah, it's
about the
close.
closest thing that we
Uh-huh.
do.
Now, one thing, when we were still trying to grow, which I know, Mrs. Lowell didn't like it. I loved it. Okay, so one thing that we did when we were trying to make our program grow or help our program grow was we would go to the local park. We would have play dates. Oh, stop.
Oh, wait.
So I can do this because I didn't
Yeah.
turn on the recorder yet.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I turned it on, yeah.
They'll fix that. Okay.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
okay. So this is my thing. I would set up play dates, and we would meet at the park, and they would come in their little t-shirts because we had t-shirts made for them. And I would bring a cooler full of popsicles, and
Popeyes,
I would woo the children with popsicles and playground equipment. And I would sit and visit with the parents. I made sure I walked around to each, and I'd take a picture of them so that I knew who that kid was. And I would have my assistant walking with a notepad and writing down which number picture was, so that I could go home and look at the pictures so that I knew who that was before the school started. Now, this was back when.
So there was like 20.
When we had like 20 kids in the program, and there was a parent who came to every single one. He never missed one. And I don't know if when you were here, if I was doing as many, I kind of slowed it down over the years. But initially I was doing it once a week in the summer. And
Yeah, no, I wasn't part of that.
and the
That
kids,
would have.
the kids came in. They walked in the door and they were like, "It's Mrs. Howard." They were ready to go.
Did they ask where their popsicle was?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
a line of popsicle and recess equipment. I mean, come on.
You credit, obviously.
I know, you're
It
right.
did
No,
work.
when-
It did work.
When we started, it was once we did it in June, we did it in July,
So I'd slowed down.
and we did it in August before school
Yeah,
started.
no, I'd slow down. And I didn't do it in June when I was doing it every week. It wasn't June. I think I waited until maybe the last month before school started and I did it every week. But and I used to also, this is for advertising purposes. I didn't think about this, you guys, but when we were trying to grow, when we had our school festival, I had created documents like flyers, and I always worked with cotton candy machine. I still do all day. And I would, because all the kids come to the cotton candy machine, right? And so I had my preschool flyers right there. And anytime someone came up that I didn't recognize with a kid, I'd say, "Oh, hey, I'm the preschool teacher. Hold your child." And I would hand that to them. I used to create those little forms with the little tear-off thing with the phone number on it. And I would ask the local grocery stores if I could hang those in the store so that they could come and they could pull off that number and then they could call me. So we didn't just grow by word of mouth initially. There was effort. There was work put into it. But now we don't do any of it anymore. We don't go to the park anymore. We just have one sneak a peek play date right before school starts so the kids can still get comfortable. But for advertising purposes, and that little t-shirt that we made that was like, here you go for registering. It's very cute. And we encourage the kids to wear it to the park. We encourage them to wear it all summer because guess what happens? They go, and we tell them, go to the library for story time this summer. It's a great way for your child to learn to sit and listen and get ready for the classroom, right? It's a great place to sit next to other kids and follow some rules before you come to school. And that is why I wanted them to go. But I did encourage them to wear their t-shirt in case they saw any of their friends. They would know, right? That they were going to go to school with this child at the local library. But it also was an advertising tool. That's not why I did it. The other people came up with that idea. I forget what committee that was. But people saw the t-shirt. It had our name on it. It had a cute little tiger on the back. And so just think if somebody says, "Oh, where does your child go to preschool?" "Oh, we're looking for preschool." So there's a lot of ways to get going. A lot of them. The main thing, though, is to build relationships. That's still the most important thing, positive relationships. So,
You just buy one mass size of t-shirt?
yeah, we do, and it's not great. People complain. But we go with not the teeny tiny, but the next size up
Yeah,
and just
okay,
say,
youth
"Todd, put a
small."
knot in it." And it's a youth small.
Okay.
Maybe we can grab one and show it to you. They're in my classroom.
Should I go get one?
You want to get up there?
Yeah, I'll get
They're
one.
under
They're
my
cute. I
table.
want one, but-
They're under my table, hidden behind the science. They're great for field trips too, to keep track of your kids. So if you have them, I'll wear them field trip. And we take that out of the cost, like, when people register and all that, it comes out of that money somehow. But yeah. Okay, so everybody knows there's some stuff out there. If you want it, take it. If not, leave it. Oh, and one other thing, I do have, we talked about the letterbox yesterday. I'm not going to give this to somebody right now, but I was looking through a stack of stuff, and these are little, you tear them apart. They just came out of a phonics book, I think a kindergarten one. The kindergarten teacher gave them to me. Have them laminated. They have the word on the back, just like the cards I had. These are much cuter than what I have. There's a very cute rabbit. But anyway, so if somebody wants to take those, I'm not in charge. I'm not going to leave them here. If somebody wants to take them for their letterbox, so. Okay, well, so now we're actually going to start with what I intended for us to talk about. But again, if you come up with anything else, let me know. So daily schedules and routines is what we're going to be talking about today. At least to start with. So just so you know what kind of program we have, because I did give you copies of the schedules, I keep calling calendars, those are schedules. I gave you copies of the schedules for the 4 and 5-year-old for my class. Miss Elsasser, Miss Katie's class might be a little bit different than my schedule, but that's mine. And then, thank you. And then Mrs. Lola has a different schedule for her 3-year-olds that I think you post in your room, don't you? But
Yeah, I brought it down.
But she also, she's got this chart for the kids to look at so they know what's going on. So do you want to just talk about your guys' routine a little
Yeah,
bit?
sure. Okay,
Sorry.
so
Too much.
I was a little unhappy with how this turned out. I mean, I would change when we print again. But, yeah, I mean, you could go with a little smaller size, but sometimes they shrink. And they wear, like our kids, we give them to them when they come in as 3-year-olds. And then they wear them again the next year too, as 4 and 5-year-olds. And you've got some kids that are a little bigger. So, but yeah, so that's we have a parishioner who created the design. She's just good at art. And so I'm sorry, Annie, use your resources. There's always somebody who's good at art in your parish. There's always somebody who's good at building cubbies for your preschool room, who likes to do woodwork, who may be retired or something, or an Eagle Scout who would love to do that for you. Use your resources, because you can get a lot done through people.
Okay, so for like a 3-year-old, this is our typical daily schedule, and it worked out well for us because we also use it in the classroom to, for the kids that have a little separation. Every time we accomplish something in our room, the pop rate goes down, so we know at the bottom when it's the smiley face, it's almost home time. They're all on their own. I also have like a play out, we go outside to the play. If we have PE class or we go to library, because our 3-year-olds do go to a specials class. We're super lucky. We alternate every other week, 15 minutes. But it's really good for them to learn to line up, go to another class, have another teacher, how to be a good listener for somebody else besides Miss Carrie and I. So, I mean, in a perfect world, yes, this all happens. It very rarely all happens. I mean, for the first 3 months of a 3-year-old, you're not going to have a schedule. It's just not going to happen. Your goal is for the kids to feel loved and safe and no accidents and everybody's in their clothes and and nobody's like crying and we left and then they leave and then you go lay on your rug and decompress and think, okay, round 2, because the afternoon kids are coming in a half an hour. So, but eventually they do. I like routines. You can tell from my room, I like everything labeled. I'm very orderly. I like it all in a place where it needs to be. My cubby boxes have to match my colors. I'm very visual that way.
She helps me.
So I think that's why I'm so good with the 3s, because I'm with them. I like that routine. I like every morning knowing we're going to do this, that this is going to happen, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to go have snack, and then this is going to happen, and then I'm going to play, and then I'm going to go home. So I kind of operate the same way as a 3-year-old. So this is what works well for me. It doesn't have to be so fancy. It doesn't have to be on a pocket chart. It could be on a whiteboard. It could be on a piece of paper. It could be anywhere in your room, but it just is a nice way to keep track of your day. Any questions?
For your C word, that makes it.
Okay, so we call it seat work, but like we'll have, like if we're introducing the letter of the day, I'll have a coloring sheet of that letter. I have a really cute one. It's my favorite websites. I don't know if I gave you those. Preschoolmom.com and Catholic Icing. I love that one. Those are mine too. And there is, and I'm going to. I've been. You have those websites that you go to and you lovingly look at it and you're like, oh, there's a website called Happy Saints, and they do an entire preschool. I'm going to do it, but it's an entire alphabet of saints, and you get all PDFs of coloring sheets and flashcards and everything. I know. They sent me, it was a Pope Francis coloring sheet last year. I know, I was so excited, so we all colored Pope Francis. So, you got to get in there and really dig, but those probably are my 2 favorite websites to get ideas from. So we have a letter, and then they'll color, or if it's a theme day, we'll put out either watercolors or Play-Doh. Later on in the year, we'll put out scissors. We call it seat work. It's not really seat work. It's distraction. It's, hey, we're going to hang up our stuff. We're going to park you here. So mom can go,
Okay.
bye, and then they're distracted. And eventually the kids really don't care. And you can, even some mornings, we just put a book, or go pick a book and sit down and we're just gonna look at books while we wait for our friends to arrive. But some of the kids are gonna need something to distract them.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I have like special jobs, like if you can tell like the one's not letting go of the leg. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I need you to come help me. Can you come help me? And then, you know, you give them on the, you know, and then you get them off and then they leave and then pretty soon they don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, but I never, ever, ever take a child. You know what I mean? I've always approached it, you tell me. I mean, I'll take them, they kicked me in the shin, I've carried them like a sack of potatoes. You know, I've had runners, I've had run out of school before. Oh, yeah. So it's really.
You
it's
take
tough.
them if the parents, if you have
But-
permission. You'll take
But
them.
never, ever. I mean, and I'll make eye contact and I'll say, if you want me to, because you can tell that the parent has this look on their face too, like.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, like 3 minutes later,
They're fine.
and it's like, don't do that to your grandma
Yeah.
or grandma. Come on, dude. I'm like, and then it's like, then they'll pick them up. They're like, well, how did David had? Had a great day. He had fun. He likes school. I don't know why he's doing this. Yeah. So yeah.
What's funny though about your seat work, her seat work is different than my seat work. Her seat work, I never thought about it. We're in two different worlds. I used to teach the threes, and then I went, would you like to do the threes? But and she's fantastic at it. But so her seat work is a distraction for the parent to get them away from the parents. My seat work looks like I have 20 kids coming in my room and 2 adults. And I have parents who are going to want to say something to me. And I'm building relationships. And so I need to address them. You know, I need to be smiling and waving and all that with the parents and greeting the kids as they come in the door. So I cannot be watching and entertaining the other kids who are all there. I used to have them come and sit on the rug and wait for me. Bad idea. So, but my seat work looks a little bit different. It's to keep the kids kind of separated just a little and keep them busy so that they don't find their own ways to entertain themselves. And so my seat work, sometimes later in the year might be some type of a worksheet, something we've been doing already in class and they know how to do it. And I'll have them sit and do that. And sometimes they come in and they pick their own spot. I've got a whole bunch of different manipulative toys that I just pulled from the centers, but that maybe they don't usually go to the math center and they decided they wanted to play with that today. So I give them choices of things that they can look at and do. Sometimes it's books. So seat work isn't necessarily a worksheet every day. They might have some kind of a worksheet like once a week. But otherwise, you know, it can be anything to keep them occupied.
Yeah, some seat work, sometimes we just had like the lacing cards out or
Yes.
puzzles out. or-
It's recorded.
Exactly.
Just even the different toys that they have.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So technical difficulties again.
I pushed the green button, the green button turned red.
It knew I didn't want it to record, maybe. Okay, so I did give you copies of our schedules. I think rather than me talk about what we offer and what our schedule looks like, that pretty much explains it, okay? And if you have questions about those schedules, about, you know, when we start daycare, where do they come, where do they go, if you want to know all that stuff, you can let me know. We can